It began with a sound no one on the Black Sea could ever forget. A deep mechanical hum, almost silent, almost invisible, yet powerful enough to change the course of a war. In the early hours before sunrise, Russian sailors aboard a patrol ship noticed a strange ripple on the water. At first, they thought it was nothing. Just waves. Just darkness. Just another quiet night. But they were wrong. That ripple was death coming for them. For weeks, Ukrainian drone operators had been planning the strike, one of the most daring and precise maritime drone attacks in the entire conflict. And on this night, everything was about to unfold exactly as they had imagined, or far worse. The mission was simple in theory, impossible in execution. Send a wave of explosive-packed naval drones across open water, slip past Russian radar, break through electronic jamming, and hit a Russian ship that wasn't supposed to be reachable. But Ukraine wasn't playing by old rules anymore. The drones moved like shadows on water, small, fast, nearly invisible. Each one carried hundreds of kilograms of explosives, guided by remote pilots watching through tiny cameras miles away. Every move was controlled by human hands, steady and focused, sitting in an underground bunker somewhere in Ukraine. Inside that bunker, a 27-year-old operator named Artem leaned forward in his chair, eyes locked on the screen. He had done countless missions before, but this one was different. This ship mattered. Taking it down would send a message across the world. He whispered to himself, "Come on, just a little closer." Out on the sea, the Russian ship was cruising slowly, unaware of the silent hunters racing toward it. The sailors were tired. Some smoked cigarettes on the deck. Some wrote messages home. Some simply stared into the night, thinking nothing would happen. But suddenly, the alarms started screaming. A radar operator spotted something. Too fast, too low, too small to be a boat. He shouted, "Incoming object. Port side. High speed." The captain ran to the bridge. "What is it? Missile? Torpedo?" The crew didn't know. None of them had ever seen something like this before. One drone hit the spotlight range. Then a second one appeared behind it. Then a third. The Russian ship opened fire immediately. Machine guns roared across the water, spraying bullets into the dark waves. Tracers lit up the night sky like red comets. The ship began to maneuver, trying to outrun the attack, but the drones were faster, tighter, more relentless. Inside the Ukrainian bunker, Artem watched calmly. "Target locked," he said. His commander nodded. "Send them in." The first naval drone exploded against the side of the ship, ripping open a massive hole in the hull. Fire burst upward, painting the sea orange. The shockwave threw sailors off their feet. The second drone followed seconds later, hitting the rear section right near the engine room. The ship shook violently. Power failed. Lights went out. Smoke filled the corridors. The Russian captain gave the order. "All hands, brace for impact. Prepare to abandon ship." But it was too late. A third drone approached from the opposite side, the one direction the crew wasn't expecting. They fired desperately, but the drone zigzagged, dodging bullets, guided precisely by Artem's steady hands. It slammed into the ship's central deck and triggered a massive explosion that could be seen from miles away. Inside the bunker, silence filled the room. Not the silence of hesitation, but the silence of a mission completed. The Russian ship began to sink slowly, water rushing in, fires blazing, crew scrambling for survival. The once powerful vessel that patrolled the Black Sea now tilted helplessly, vanishing into the dark water below. Ukraine had done the impossible again. But the story didn't end there. Hours later, satellite images confirmed the ship was heavily damaged, possibly lost. Russian forces quickly tried to hide the incident, but social media footage from nearby regions leaked the truth. The world saw the flames, the smoke, the panic. And the message was clear. Ukraine's sea drones had changed naval warfare forever. These drones weren't just weapons, they were symbols of innovation, of resistance, of a nation refusing to surrender. Cheap, fast, smart, deadly. They turned the entire Black Sea into a danger zone for Russian ships. Military analysts called it the future of naval combat. Russia called it a nightmare we can't stop. And Ukraine called it just the beginning. In the days that followed, reports came in of more drone waves, more Russian vessels withdrawing from risky zones, more panic spreading across the fleet. Commanders were forced to adjust strategies, relocate ships, strengthen defenses, and operate farther from Ukrainian waters. But the problem was simple. How do you stop an enemy you cannot see? How do you block drones that fly inches above the sea surface? How do you defend ships designed for 20th century battles against 21st century threats? Ukraine didn't just hit a ship that night. They hit the pride of a navy. They hit morale. They hit confidence. And that psychological blow was more powerful than the explosion itself. Meanwhile, Artem and his team didn't celebrate. They simply prepared for the next mission. Because for them, this wasn't about glory. It wasn't about headlines. It was about survival, innovation, and fighting a force much larger than themselves. The Black Sea, once dominated by Russia, was now a battlefield where small machines controlled the outcome. Every night, drones moved silently. Every day, new missions were planned. Ship after ship went on high alert. And one thing became clear. Russia's biggest enemy wasn't the size of Ukraine's army. It was the mindset, the creativity, the unpredictability, the willingness to push technology beyond limits. This strike proved something the world had never seen before. A small unmanned drone could cripple a massive warship. Navies across the world took notice. Defense companies began studying Ukraine's innovations. Experts said, this changes naval warfare forever. But on the ground, in a dim bunker deep inside Ukraine, Artem just logged the mission as complete. He removed his headset, rubbed his eyes, closed the video feed, and whispered, "One down, more to go." Because the war wasn't ending. The Black Sea wasn't safe. And the drones were just getting started. And that is what happened next after Ukrainian drones